All right. Guys, I'm trying to get this. I'm gonna have to do this on my phone, man. And I'll wait for some of you guys to come in here. We're gonna prop it up just like this. And hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm gonna pull this up on my computer to make sure. Give me a second. I'm gonna have to reshare this link. What's up, guys? Can y'all hear me pretty decent? Cause I got my phone propped up. Let me know if y'all can hear me, man. I don't want the audio to be muffled. Y'all let me know. And we still gonna just do a quick show. It's clear. All right, great. I'm gonna wait for a few people to get up in here, man, and then I'll get to talking. Yeah, I'm gonna wait for a second. Let me adjust some things, man, as far as Twitter, and saying things like that, man. Because I obviously I posted the link, and the original link is no longer working. So, oh, there we go. Y'all heard the double audio there. The freezing was still better, huh? All right, give me a second, guys. Let me at least post this link again on X and take down the one that doesn't work. I don't want to get people confused and things like that. I'm trying to be professional. You know what I mean? But give me a second, and I'm gonna jump right in it. And like I said, it's not gonna be a long show at all, man. I'm gonna give my 2 cents. I don't want to lose you guys. I want to text the link to Kenyon, but I don't know if I can. Let me see. Hold on. Because I'm doing this on my phone. Kenyon might pop up. He might pop up in the queue. I hope so. But we're going to get rocking here in just a moment. Hold on, guys. Let me try something really quick. Hold on. It's allowing me to share the link. I want to make sure I don't disappear. Hold on. All right, we're still here. All right, it's allowing me to share. So hold on, guys. I got to update this to a few people. Give me a second. And then I'll be right with y'all, man. I promise. I'll be right with y'all. One more than one way to skin a cat, right? That's what grandma always said. I'm not going to let software interfere with what we're trying to do here tonight. All right, here we go. I shared it with a few special people. So let's start this thing over again as I actually have you guys. Let me cut off my camera. I have you guys propped up here. And we're going to talk turkey in just a moment. I'm looking over here because I have the chat pulled up here as well. It'll be easier for me to read the chat over here. So give me a second, guys. Let's do that. Let's say hello again to a few of you early commenters, and then I'm going to give you my 2 cents. And it's going to be quick, fast, and in a hurry. All right, so right now, let's see who all is up in here. We have J Webb in the building, Walter Worthy in the building. My guy Smitty, I heard what you said on the other stream, but I'll read this. He says, if you're blaming anybody besides O-line Rodgers and maybe Arthur Smith, I don't know what to tell you. Jack Bauer is in the building. Steeler Cards in the building. C. Antoine Hill in the building. Rel Fax is in the building. Who else is up in here? Knight Rider. What's up, Knight Rider? Knight Rider's in the building. He says another flat performance. Yeah. Who else is in the building? Real quick, Leonard Green is in the building. There go my boy. There go my good brother Kenyon. He's in the building. Got him squared away by sending a text. My good brother Mark is in the building. And let's get to it, guys, because it is a little bit late, for some of you all and for me on the East Coast. So let's get to it. Kev So Fun is in the building. The BBJCC is in the building. So let me just tell you guys why the Steelers lost this game in my estimation. The offense fell flat on their face, man. Too many miscues, and they just never recovered from it. The offensive line didn't play great either. Now, when you kind of look at it in detail, because I kind of paid attention when, excuse me, during the broadcast. I paid a little bit of attention when, Collinsworth and Tirico were kind of showing the pocket and stuff and kind of showing you what happened tonight. Some of those times, I would say that Aaron, was kind of escaping the pocket, but it was quick pressure. It was quick pressure on him. Sometimes from what I saw watching the game, it seems like it came from the right side often with Troy Fautano. Then there was a couple times where it was coming on the left side, but not necessarily Broderick Jones. It looks like there were a few times where maybe Spencer Anderson was giving up some pressure. And I'm sure, Broderick Jones may not have been stellar either. But to me, it was a combination of the offensive line not really allowing any time, as well as Aaron Rodgers. And let's talk about it. Here's my quick notes. Couple quick things, man. Steelers started the game with the false start. That was with Andrus Peat. They start the game with a false start. They go 3 and out. And I had a little side note there. I don't know if you guys paid attention on that 3rd and 4, the leverage that they played against DK Metcalf. I forget which corner it was, but it showed how he played. He took the inside away. The reason why I put that as a quick note is this is the stuff that I've been asking the Steelers to do, right? Take that inside read away. Force a man to beat you, right? Especially when it's 3rd and intermediate. 3rd and long even. You got to not give up the inside so easily, especially if you have a single high safety. But anyway, that was just a quick note. But then after that, the Steelers were able to force their own 3 and out. However, I did note that Gaston at the time, number 86, had number 24 beat on the out route. He had him beat on the out route. But Gaston was able to not come down with it, so the Steelers were able to pitch a 3 and out. But then they go right back down and they do the same thing, man. The first three possessions, the Steelers did nothing offensively, including a safety, which, again, was pressure on the side of Troy Fautanu. And it just went downhill from there, man. The Steelers just couldn't get anything going offensively. I'm going to talk about the mishaps here in a moment. It was just a bad offensive effort. I do not put this loss on the defense. I know some of you guys are going to look at the scoreboard and say, oh, the defense. No. If you watch the first half, even into the 3rd quarter, you would know. And like my guy said there, Smitty said, if you're really watching this game and paying attention to it from a football standpoint, it was the offense that aided to the Steelers losing this game. Here's another one. We had a lot of missed opportunities. Aaron Rodgers missing DK Metcalf early in the game. And Collinsworth even said, this year when Aaron Rodgers has been able to be nimble and move and get outside the pocket, he's making offense, creating offense. Chargers took that away from us today. They clearly took it away from us. And Aaron was just not making the great throws. Missed DK Metcalf, he was wide open. Here's another mishap. Rodgers throws high to Jonnu Smith. Remember that one where he kind of went up for it and he fell down on it? They called it a catch, but he kind of caught it like this. Ball was high. Jonnu Smith was wide open. Couple other mishaps. Aaron Rodgers threw the ball high again. Aaron Rodgers missed about, in real time, I'm just trying to remember it. Rodgers missed about 6 or 7 throws. Big ones. And again, guys, just apologizing to you guys for the perspective that you're seeing this video. It is because you guys saw it. The stream was not working properly. For some reason, the software, my OBS software, was not sending it. Was definitely just not sending the signal to YouTube, and that's why the stream was lagging. I know some of you guys said that, so just wanted to at least do something. I did not want to not have some type of footage, some type of stream, some type of reaction for you guys, man. So here we are. What else? Number 24 is still number 24. I told y'all guys he would be that to me until he does something astronomical. Now, I'm not going to say that number 24 is the reason why we lost the game or anything like that, but I will tell you that he dropped a wide open interception that was right in his hands. Come on, man. Come on. Listen, I'm rooting for the kid, but I've had enough of him. I don't think he got a penalty tonight. But like I told you guys, I'm treating him like every other player that I took their name away. He just has to earn his name back. It's not like he played horrible tonight. I'm not even mad. I'm not even going to beef with the defense, and I'll tell you why in a moment. But dropping that interception again, come on, you can't do that, man. I mean, it's right in your hand. That you can't have a cleaner interception. That was a mishap. Also, a little tougher catch, but Kyle Duggar unable to come up with that tip interception. And again, he's diving to the ground. Much harder catch than Joey Porter Jr. And I know what you would say, and I can kind of agree. If you get your hands on it, you should catch it. I get it. But the Kyle Duggar's, non-catch is more forgiving than Joey. I almost said his name. It's more forgiving than number 24. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion. Let's see. What else do we got? What else do we got? And hold on, I'm going to check the stream again, guys, on my computer to make sure. Okay, we're still streaming good. Great. There was something else. Hold on, I haven't noted. Calvin Austin. Calvin Austin is the reason, for that second interception, which reminds me, that was another one of the overthrows, if you will. The first interception when Rodgers was trying to feed it to, trying to feed it to DK Metcalf. And he overshoots it in the first interception. Now, here we are, guys. We have a donation here. We have some Wonder Bread. I'm going to see if I can make this work. Hold on, guys. Even though we're not connected to the computer, I'm going to turn up the round of applause. Y'all let me know if y'all hear it. Round of applause to my good brother. Who is that? James Webb. Appreciate the Wonder Bread, sir. Y'all let me know if y'all heard that, but super round of applause to my good brother James Webb. I appreciate that, and I'm going to read your comment here on the computer just because it's bigger. Says, fact, Sim, by my calculation, Rodgers missed at least 10 to 14 points. I won my bet on Slay. Bet he would get dinged up. Shaking my head. Yeah, man. Slay is just, Slay is just, he's a little brittle. At this point in his career, and I understand it. The man is 34 years old, and some of you guys will say, hey, that's not old. Some of you guys might be that age or close to it. It's not old for the world, and absolutely not. But for football, after the many amount of years that he's played in the position that he's playing, that could be aided. That could aid some of his injury as well. And then, tonight he kind of got hit in the head, so I get it. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Let's see. Yeah, still the cards. I definitely like Ramsey at free safety as well. It was something else one of you guys said. Oh, I would caution what you said, Cade. Cade says first losing season for Mike Tomlin. Only reason why I would say I would caution that is because, this has been a running thing for many years and it hadn't happened. I don't know if it's going to happen this year or not, but again, y'all know my position on that. What difference do it make in year 18? You know what I mean? And I don't know if you're saying it from that view, but again, even when the media tries to make that a story, the fact that you're trying to make that a story is funny in itself. I mean, after 18 years, somebody should have a losing season. So, but I say caution yourself with saying that, because every time we say that, he somehow finds a way not to have a losing season. But that's neither here or there. At this point, guys, if we're not playing complimentary football, man, you know, this team just doesn't have a chance, right? It seems like that, and I guess that's football in general. But it seems like the Steelers just don't have enough games where the defense and offense are playing at least decent. At least decent. The Steelers' defense tonight gave up 23 points. Our offense gave them 2 points, right? So, you know, I was laughing and joking with Kenyon and Tony earlier in the game when it was 12-3, I think it was, or something like that. It might have been 15-3. And I said, man, it's amazing to think that if the Steelers could score 13 more points, they would be in the lead. That was in the third quarter. So look at how long the defense held up, as long as they could. Defense did not play that bad. They didn't, in my opinion. They came up with a couple sacks when they needed it. They came up with a few third down stops when they needed it. Yeah, you know, the Chargers were able to get Vidal going a little bit because that's when they kind of had us off balance, but they did not kill us offensively. And that last catch to Lad McConkey on Brandon Echols, I would tell Echols to keep his head up. I mean, that was super tight coverage, and McConkey just was able to hang on to it. I mean, I don't think Echols could have played better in that situation. It's the NFL. And the reason why I say that, things happen sometimes. So I'm not even going to beat that kid down over that. It happened. But, you know, what you're going to do? Like I said, I don't know what this team is anymore. And I said that to you guys at week 6 or after our 6th game. One week they look like they're a team that can compete in the playoffs, but that's about it. Not go to a Super Bowl. So that wasn't my expectation anyway. And then the next week they have a game like this where, again, a touchdown here and there may change things. I'm going to read Victory Gonzalez's comment. He says, we have bad coaches. Every game they get outplayed. I mean, I'm not going to take that opinion away from you, Victor, but I just feel like, you know, the comment about coaching only happens when the Steelers lose. Right? Because nobody said that after the Colts game. You know, I didn't see one person say it was bad coaching in that game. I didn't see one person say we got outplayed or outcoached in that game. Not one person. So again, Victor, I'm not challenging you. I'm just saying it's the theme of the Steelers having bad coaches. It shouldn't only pop up when they lose. I would rather hear you guys keep that same thought even in a win. Like, there's things about our coaching staff or even about our team that y'all hear me complain about even when we win. So again, maybe you do. I'm just making that as a general blanket statement because it's always loud when they lose. But when they beat the team last week with the best record and statistically the best offense, I didn't hear any of that. So we just can't flip-flop, you know? So I would rather hear people say, look, I just don't like Mike Tomlin. Hey, I just don't like Arthur Smith. Hey, I just don't like Terrell Austin. Then I would shake your hand and be like, hey, I'm with you. I understand where you come from. But point of the matter is, guys, listen, like I said, if we want to talk about coaching, the defensive side of the ball, Mike Tomlin, Terrell Austin, whoever's responsible for that defense. I mean, Terrell Austin kind of cleared that up a week or so ago and said he calls the plays, yada, yada, yada. I know Tomlin has a hand in it. Their side of the ball did not lose the game. Aaron Rodgers was not his best self tonight. The first interception was on him. He didn't make great throws tonight. He didn't make those, you know, throws that you're accustomed to seeing him do, even at 41 years of age. Didn't do it tonight. Offensive line Didn't protect him as well tonight as far as giving him time. He had to dance around the pocket a little bit. And might I say this, the age showed up, right? That's not a knock to Aaron Rodgers, but, you know, he's not as nimble as he once was in terms of getting away from guys. Yeah, he can still get himself in and out of the pocket, but getting away from guys, them days might be behind him, right? And again, this just goes to show why the Steelers eventually need to bite the bullet and invest in finding a young franchise quarterback and be willing to accept what it's going to take to do that. Meaning, you might have a losing season here and there. You're going to have to do it. All of the good teams have done that. The team we just played, they did that with Justin Herbert. The other team in the division that's creeping up, they did that with Lamar Jackson. Another team in our division that should be better, they did that with Joe Burrow. That team up in northern New York that we're going to play later on this season, the Buffalo Bills, did that with Josh Allen. You know, it's just got to happen for the Steelers, man. So, you know, hey, somebody says 6-11. Hey, hey, listen, I don't know. I have no idea what this season is going to be. I don't think 6-11. I think they'll win. I think the Steelers pull out at least 3 more games. You know, just my opinion. And who knows? They might win more than that. I don't know. All I do know is this is definitely going to be an interesting race to the division, and the Steelers only have a few more weeks to do it, right? And what I mean by that is you're going to need to put some more wins together, and you're going to need the Ravens to win a few more games. Lose a few more games, because, you know, the Ravens are coming. You know, they have Lamar Jackson back in the fold, and they've played a lot better with him back in the fold, even though I don't think the Ravens defense is all of that. I think they can be had a bit. But, you know, I'll end with this, guys, and then I'll read a few comments. It's just like this. When the Steelers defense steps up and we're able to produce solid offense, I think the Steelers can play with anybody. The Steelers are just so up and down. That's just what it is. And this season has been that. There haven't been many games this season where we felt like the defense and offense played well. This is the first game that we haven't had any real offensive output. I will say that. But there hasn't been a lot of games where we felt like the defense and offense played solid and played a full complementary game of football. And unless they're able to do that, and again, I know who we got left on the schedule and all of that, but I'm telling you, if the Steelers can, even though the Chargers scored 25 tonight, I will still say this. If the Steelers are able to average what they've been averaging basically this season, like being able to score roughly 24 points a game, if they can do that, I think we can play with anybody, because I think our defense can hold it together enough to limit a team to 23 or less points if we are also scoring. Understand that when we're doing that, it's time of possession. It's ticking the clock away. It's limiting the amount of times the other offense can touch the ball. So if this current Steelers offense can produce 24 points a game, I think even after what we saw tonight, I think the Steelers can play with pretty much anybody in the league and hang in there. Do I give them a chance to win it all? I absolutely do not. I told y'all that a few weeks ago. But given what we've seen through this point, when they put a game together like they did against the Colts, they're capable of playing with anybody. But we shall see. What do y'all got, man? Let me see what y'all got in the comments. I know it's going to be some good, funny ones in here. James Webb says, Sim, the O-line, period. Ravens looking like our run D as well. Ravens looking at our run D as well. Yeah. I'm with you there. Jermaine White says Warren looked good. I liked how they worked in Caleb. I like that as well. Getting Caleb Johnson a few more touches. Sim, how do you do it in the playoffs? Oh, by the way, glad you asked that. We won the chip, dog. We won the championship, man. And for those of you that don't know, he's talking about my son's team. Pop Warner, 11 and 12-year-olds. He plays on the midgets division. This was his first year playing. Obviously, my first year assistant coaching. Did not take the head job. And we won the championship, man. We won the championship handedly, 24-0. And this is the team that I told you guys that we beat. Remember, I told y'all we beat a team that was 5-0, and we didn't tell the team that they were undefeated. And we beat them. We only beat them 7-6 because we just didn't have our best offensive output. We dropped a lot of passes, yada, 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 but they couldn't score on us, really. They only scored because we stopped them on the 3-yard line. Our quarterback fumbled the ball, and they recovered it. And that's how they scored. And they didn't score the extra point. And we won that game 7-6. In the first semifinal game, we beat the only team that beat us in the season that we felt like we should have beat. We beat them 19-13 in overtime. And then this past Saturday, we won the chip 24-0. And the organization gave them all rings and everything. It was cool, man. It was cool. But thanks for asking. But yeah, man, football is over for us. And now we're right into basketball. He has an AAU tournament this coming weekend. So it never stops. So what else y'all got? Smitty says they weren't concerned about the Chargers running the ball. They were trying to get to the quarterback, which they did. The Chargers running the ball wasn't the problem. They can have 100 yards. Yeah, the Chargers didn't. It's like Smitty just said. The Steelers had a plan, and the Chargers, mixed in some decent runs when they had to. Even though they were able to rush it a little bit. I'm not too upset, again, by anything that happened defensively. Let me just take a look really quick, guys. Hold on. Let me see what they ended up with. Hold on. Give me a second. Because I want to be accurate. Let me see what they ended up with, man. And then we'll talk a little more. I'm only going to stay for a few more minutes. But, yeah, so Vidal ended up with 95 yards. 25 carries, 95 yards. He averaged 3.8. And Justin Herbert had 5 attempts for 19. So, again, that 115 yards didn't feel like, you understand what I'm saying? It didn't feel like they ran all over us because, again, at that stage and the way that they ran it, it didn't matter. It did not matter. We were not putting up points offensively. So, again, some of y'all are going to look at the raw numbers and the score and say, oh, our defense. No, it was not the defense. Again, go watch that game through the third quarter, and you honestly come back and tell me that the defense lost the game. Jermaine White says Pierre played well in Slade's absence. He did. Pierre played pretty decent. Pretty decent. Afro Thunder also said Pierre looked like he was watching old Junkyard Dog. Yeah, it was. I love that tackle. I love that physicality. Hip Hop Anonymous says Tomlin has rotted the culture of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Sorry, not sorry, but I'm just fed up. That is absolutely fine. That is your right, Hip Hop. Again, I just asked, were you saying that last week? And the only reason why I say that, guys, because I remember. I really do. I remember, and I pay attention to who says what. So, hey, handshake on, I respect your opinion. I'm just saying, I never hear anybody say that when they win. That's all I'm saying. Then thanks for the congratulations, guys. I appreciate y'all. Who is this? A Sincere View says the game changed once McConkey made the big play over Eccles in third down. Nah, I disagree with that. I'm not going to say that's when the game changed. that's when the game was put out of reach, right? So maybe we're saying the same thing, just using different words, but that wasn't the turning point in the game. And again, Echols had great coverage on it, man. It just, Herbert put the ball in a spot and McConkey concentration. Because that, again, and a lot, if anybody is going to say that that wasn't good coverage, then again, I'm going to borrow what my guy said earlier, Smitty. If anybody's saying that Echols didn't play good defense on that, then y'all not really paying attention. And yeah. But yeah, I would not say that's what changed the game. What changed the game really, man, was just our offense not getting going. The missed opportunities, the overthrow to DK Metcalf, the high throw to Jonnu Smith. He was wide open, may have scored on that. The interception, forcing the, not forcing it, but again, overthrowing DK Metcalf on that. And then it just went downhill. The muff punt, the game was already over. The Calvin Austin tip to a pick, game was already over. But our offense just not getting it going. And again, guys, it's hard for a defense. Trust me. I mean, for you guys who play football would understand this. It's hard for a defense to keep stopping a team that can, they have a good quarterback. They can pass. They can get going when you're not having enough time to rest. You just keep getting put back on the off out there. How many 3-and-outs did we have tonight? How many non-conversions did we have on third down? It's going to wear on a defense at some point. You're going to wear down. And the dam just broke in the fourth quarter. It just broke. Steeler Card says there were a lot of turning points. The miss on DK, the interception, the Jonnu miss, drop interception from number 24. Yeah. All of those things, man. Smitty says, people that think this culture is ruining, look at Cleveland and look at the New York Jets. Those cultures are horrible every year. This team is competitive. I'll take that over not having a chance. Yeah, me too in theory, but I said this before. I'm not upset at anybody feeling like they're fed up of the Tomlin era. Guys, this is the 18th season. So again, you're never going to get me to argue that. That is an extremely long time, and it's something that we typically don't see. So I'm never going to beef or, go back and forth with somebody who feels that way, because I get what you're saying. But again, I just think there's too much pile on when it comes to that. And I think it's more emotion talking, right? But I get it. What else? Groggy Student says, a lot of people want Tomlin gone, but none of them could think of a valuable replacement. We're such a spoiled fan base. We are. I've repeated that plenty of times. Some people hate me for that. Groggy Student, a lot of people would call me a Tomlin apologist, which is absolutely hilarious. But I just try to state the facts, man. I see it on both sides. I can see any human being being like, all right, I want something new after 18 seasons. I understand that wholeheartedly. But what I don't understand is where people don't see why we feel like that. And it's what Smitty said. It's because they've always been in a position to make us think, oh, this is it, this could be it, maybe. And that's a gift and a curse. I get it. One or two more, and then I'm out of here. Hip Hop says, but we don't need a valuable replacement right away. I'd rather have two loops. See, this is where I don't think Steeler Nation accepts this. I'm gonna read it. He says, I don't think we need a valuable replacement right away. I'd rather have 2 losing seasons than almost a decade of mediocre seasons and not having a great draft capital because of that. I'm going to go out on the limb, Hip Hop Autonomous, and say, if you really feel that, you are in the minority when it comes to Steeler Nation. You know why? Because I am also in that minority. I am willing to accept that as well. But I can guarantee you most people are not. That also is the same reason why Tomlin gets so much of this. Because you're not willing to accept that. People are not even willing to accept him having a losing season after 17 non-losing seasons. You get it? I'm telling you right now, if the day Mike Tomlin is not the head coach and another coach comes in and we have 2 consecutive losing seasons, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. I'm going to put that in the memory bank in case that happens. Yeah, okay. 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 That's all I'm going to say. I would love to see the day where Steeler Nation accepts that. I think that is the very problem with Steeler Nation. We don't accept that. We don't. I have been saying how long for a lot of you guys that have been rocking with me. How long have I been saying that we as a fan base need to allow a rebuild? That ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. Steeler Cards is right. Losing seasons do not guarantee you great players. You're absolutely correct. But hey, like I said, hip hop, if you're in that minority, then welcome. I'm also there. Because again, I could be a fan of the head coach, but again, it's been 18 seasons now. You know what I mean? So, shout outs to Beach Boy Molly. Appreciate the Wonder Bread. He says 6-11. All I'm saying. Okay, I don't think that, but again, this is why I'm saying that. Steelers are Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type of team. The team we saw against the Colts last week was not the team we saw today. And if they're able to do that to a Colts team, I think they have more than 6 wins in them. I just do. I don't think this team, again, I don't know what they're going to be, but I don't think this very team only wins one more game. But again, I don't really care as far as the record. I'm being honest with y'all because again, I've been on that train of the Steelers need to win a playoff game and get to the Super Bowl, and I have repeatedly said this for the last several seasons that I don't see any of these teams being that. So the record really don't matter to me. However they finish, I don't think they're gonna finish holding a trophy anyway. I just would like to see the team marching in the right direction, and then eventually they replace, Aaron Rodgers, and they get them a franchise quarterback, and we'll see what happens from there. But all right, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. Hold on, I'm gonna read Rel Facts. Look, y'all got me to stay on here longer than I wanted to. It was already 30-something minutes. Rel Facts says, Sim, these fans capping. You see how much most fans cry when we lose one game. Try an entire season. They just want to see us compete for a Super Bowl. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. Trust me, I'm a part of this fan base. I'm telling you guys, I have watched many years, right? Doing this very show, I have watched fans from all over. Some people that y'all don't even see, man. And I'm humbled. I get people sometimes sending me direct messages. Hey, man, love what you're doing. I'm watching all the way from da-da-da-da-da. I don't comment often and da-da-da-da. I'm telling you, the majority of Steelers fans that I come across in person and or on the internet would not be happy with mediocre losing seasons, especially consecutive ones. Y'all will be ready to rip that coach's head off. I promise you that. Mike Tomlin's career is up with the Steelers. His contract expires. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, again, I do not think the man is fired. They don't do that with head coaches. We've never seen that. And I don't think any organization in the world does that, especially the Steelers, even if you have a losing season, right? So what's going to happen at best, the Steelers decide they want to go in a different direction. They move on from Mike Tomlin. They bring in a new guy. The new guy comes in. He starts off like Dan Campbell. 2 to 3 bad seasons, you guys will be having that guy's head. Y'all will rip his head off and put it on the stake like you in Game of Thrones. You know you would. Don't sit there and lie to yourself or me and say that you would be fine watching that take place. Maybe. I'm not going to call you a liar. Any of you who think you feel that way. I'm just saying, in my travels and the people that I convene with that are Steelers fans, and many of you right here in this chat know good and well that y'all would lose every peace of mind that you have if that were to happen. Come on, bruh. Stop. But, all right. Okay. So, yeah, so again, I have nothing to say, man. Anybody, if you fed up with Tomlin, fine. Like, I'm not sitting here saying you shouldn't be. I'm just saying, you guys say all that until it hits the fan. So we'll see what happens, guys. But like I said, it's a moot point because the man will not be fired. So y'all have, if my count is correct, you have 2 more seasons after this one. Because I think his contract was through the 2027 season. So there you have it. But that's about it. That's all I got, guys. Offense lost this game. They couldn't do anything. The defense could not hold the dam together. The levee broke, and that's why they lost. If the Steelers want to continue to be competitive, if they want a chance to fight for the division, then they better find a way to play football the way they played against the Indianapolis Colts, where I'm not talking just turnovers. I'm just talking about the defense playing well and the offense producing points. Defense playing well, offense producing points, whether that includes turnovers or not. The defense played like they did tonight through the first 2.5, 3 quarters, and the Steelers were also scoring. That's all you need to win without a turnover. If they could do that against Cincinnati next week, where they put up 31 points in the first, and they could find a way to stop guys like Jamar Chase, please. If they can find a way to do that against the Bears or whoever else, and your Bills, that's going to be tough. The Ravens games are going to be tough. The Lions game will be tough. But if they find a way to play the way they played against the Colts, who had the most powerful offense statistically, then they should be able to play with anybody. Will they? Is always the question. But that's all I got. Y'all be good. Be real. Have a good night. Like always, I'm going to remind you, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button if you like the content as well. If you like the content, you might want to subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. And before we go, I'm just going to say, hey, stay safe, stay healthy. God bless. Good night. Like always, I thank each and every one of you all for tuning in. And I shall catch you in the next one. Peace.